Okay, welcome to Opposites React.
Hi, I'm Whitney and that's Ashley.
Hello, welcome. We are having a fabulous day listening to some wonderful music requested by Jake.
Yes, Jake on 3. 1, 2, 3. Jake.
I want to be like, Jacob.
Now we're checking out To the Hellfire by Lorna Shore.
To the Hellfire.
Do you know Lorna Shore?
So I've heard the name of the band. And
Oh, it's a band and not one person.
I'm pretty sure.
Like the name Lorna, I just assumed Lorna was a girl and Shore was her last name.
So back in the
completely
day,
off base?
like my Swiss cheese mom brain might be remembering this incorrectly, but back in the day when I used to play shows, I feel like a lot of people were into Lorna Shore. And back when I was like playing and writing music, I kind of like made a point to like not listen to or pay attention to any music because I didn't want to inadvertently bite off of anybody else.
Mm-hmm. So you don't know.
But I felt like a lot of people in the scene liked this band, and so I think it's a band, but I don't know. I don't know for sure.
Well, we're about to find out.
That was a long explanation to say I don't know for sure, but I think it's a band.
Right?
I think it's a metal band based off of that logo.
Seriously. To the Hellfire.
I will not go quietly into that dark night.
I mean, oh,
Yes. Pause. Sorry for pausing so early, but the volume is not up enough for this level of shred.
Now I need to know, what is the origin of Lorna Shore? Like, the name. Because it still sounds like a lady's name. Is it one of their mothers?
I don't know. Or it could be a place like,
Oh, yes!
you know, like the Jersey Shore, except for the Lorna Shore.
Yeah.
I don't know where Lorna is. I'm gonna pull up the lyrics real quick.
Okay, very interesting. I like, at least in the music that you've exposed me to so far. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they I guess warmed you up to the raptor screeches. Yes. Where it's like this one, no, we are
Full
raw dogging it right in.
Oh, the giant tunnels. Remember those?
Giant tunnels. What does that mean?
On the ears.
Oh, the gauge. Is it gauges?
Yeah.
Yes.
My roommate used to have those.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder what they look like now.
You get like tunnel funk when you'd like take them out. So gross.
Tunnel funk? What is that?
Like it would stink when you would like take them out.
And you didn't clean it?
Like if you didn't like take them out frequently, yeah. Like particularly because when you're stretching them, like
they emit. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess piercings emit.
Yeah.
Juices.
Ooh. The more you know.
Hi.
Anyway, first impressions, obviously, lovely, shreddy, great, love the vibes. The super high screaming is not always my most fave, but I want to see like where he goes with this.
I want to see where it goes. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I would just like, is he saying anything, or we just?
Yeah,
because it appears that he's
lyrics.
Trying to say something.
It's just
with the screeches.
And that's the thing is, it's like
is that the proper term? I don't want to be like
it's typically called screaming.
Screaming,
but
okay.
like it when it's that high of a tone, it does come off a little screechy.
Well, because I've heard you say like, oh yeah, the raptor screech.
Well, because that was a joke in the Electric Callboys.
Oh,
video. They were joking. They were literally doing raptor screeches as a joke.
Thought that you were saying that, like, oh my gosh, I loved the raptor screeches. And I was like, maybe that's
at the end of that hyper video. They were like,
yes,
like, as a joke.
Oh my gosh,
they were like being serious, like this guy is.
My gosh, I am an idiot. It's fine.
Listen, there was somebody in the comments that was talking about Bommy Corona.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like, my most favorite thing about you is you say stuff that could easily be on a t-shirt, like so often. Like, you're just a walking t-shirt factory. It's my most favorite. Okay.
Well, that's why you asked me to do this with you.
You know, it's great. Okay, before they get into the chorus,
are you getting Gollum vibes?
I was literally like, it sounds like Smeagol joined a metal band. Yes! But I can tell that there's an effect. Like, the way that it's recorded and mixed, I can tell that there's some effects on his voice that makes it sound extra Smeagol-y in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And then when he comes into the second part, like, so there's the first stanza of the first 4 measures, and then the second.
I like that now you have to say stanza because I don't think you could understand what he was saying either.
Well, I would never have been able to pick it up if I didn't have the lyrics, but I could understand it because I was watching the lyrics.
Uh-huh.
In the second stanza of the next 4 measures, he drops lower a little bit, but there's still an effect on it that sounded like, so there was an effect that made it so that a little bit of that higher pitch was like, it sounded like almost like a guitar pedal like was on the vocal. And so it still had that kind of screech, even though the tone was lower.
Well, that's where I feel like he got even more Smeagol-y.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
But, however, we're about to go into this awesome, would you call it a breakdown? I don't know.
No, this is not a breakdown yet.
Transition, whatever, but it's the little tiny smidgen
it's getting ready.
Sample that we got sounded so cool. And I can't wait to hear it.
And I will say, I love the tone of the guitars. The drummer's killing it, obviously. Got the fancy feet going. Like, can you hear the double bass? Like,
oh yeah.
Even while he was, even though nothing has picked up yet, like, he was keeping a constant.
I was so distracted by our vocalist that I probably missed some of that.
And I'm gonna go back a teensy bit more just so I can watch him.
Oh yeah.
When I was referring to it, I did it half
that
or even
is
quarter time.
Thumper at her finest.
Like he was his finest. Yeah, he was doing it like a freaking tongue roll. Like that's how fast he was going. Which then it means so.
Is that only possible with your feet?
Yeah, so he's doing it with his feet. So there's a double bass, and it usually, basically, there's a technique that you can do where you hit it with your toe and your heel, like so it's like. I can't even do it with my hand, but they do it with their toe and their heel at the same time. Like, so they do a toe strike and then a heel strike and then a heel strike and then a toe strike. So it's basically you're hitting it like that. So you don't have to lift and put your foot down. Like
I'm sitting there like right here trying to think, and
it's not like
getting a Charlie horse. Just
I mean, they're still moving their legs really fast, but there's a technique where you can basically.
I bet you he is a fabulous tap dancer.
He could be. But when I was, my ex-boyfriend was the drummer in my band. And so I would see him practice that technique.
Good old pasts.
Yay!
Okay.
he has a trigger on his drum too. So basically,
what does that mean?
Like there's a piece of electronics that you can hook up to the drum head that will add an electronic sound to the drum. So you're still using a traditional drum head, but the trigger basically makes it sound a little meatier.
Okay.
So like that's how it can sound almost like sharper, like it sounds like a machine gun fire almost. Like that's the trigger.
I am loving all the musicians. The vocalist, I will say, to me, sounds like Gollum possessed by a demon.
You know what's funny is we usually have very different opinions on music. I agree.
Okay, because I am like...
It's not, and honestly, like...
Because the thing is, I'm loving, actually, like, the arrangement of the guitars and the drummer. I think I'm loving that bit. The vocalist?
Like, I think the drummer is maybe my favorite part.
Yeah.
Like, he is so talented. Like, shut up. And the arrangement, like, again, I love when there's the negative space, right? I mean,
yes.
all of us former hardcore kids do. We love it when you suck everything out and then hit us with it. Yes, like, it's what we live for.
But the vocals, I'm struggling.
I'm more of a lower register vocal fan myself. And I think the thing that I'm struggling with this one on is that there's very obviously effects on this. I would like to see a Lorna Shore live show to see what he sounds like live, because I feel like, is he bringing those effects? Like, is he bringing in a pedal board and adding those effects to his live performance, or is he just going raw with a cupped mic and doing that? Because you can still do a high scream, but it sounds like it is mixed to be extra, like,
well, and I feel like it's got like just two notes, like not notes, but like two levels. We're like super, high, and then we're gonna like demon.
Yeah, I do like more of a...
I feel like there's not a ton of variation.
I do prefer a more dynamic vocal.
I guess, yes. There's not as much dynamics in the vocals that I'm wanting or wishing there were. Thank you for like...
giving words to your thoughts.
Yes. Taking them out of my head and being able to say them.
Yes. I agree with you, but I really do. I'm really enjoying the instrumental.
They're like really good.
And guess what? We still have quite a bit of ways to go.
Oh boy.
So maybe he's going to surprise us, but in the first 2 minutes, we're desiring a more dynamic vocal. Okay. Sounds like he's broken. Talk about I loved the chorus behind him, loved that like and obviously the drummer's killing it, but there's a lot to love there. The vocalist, like, his lower stuff, again, there's a ton of vocals stacked up right there to make him sound so meaty, but it's good. Like, it's just the vocalist is not my most favorite yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. You know what it is? It sounds like it gives me a little bit of a because it sounds like he's about to upchuck.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, the choir behind it is I mean,
I love the choir.
So fabulous.
I love the choir.
So fabulous.
I feel like every time he comes in, I get a little bit of that, like, I feel like he's about to spew.
I feel like I feel like it is that just stereotypical demon Satan voice that they use in like the movies or something.
Yeah, and I think what it is too is that his I don't know the phrase to use for it. Like, it's not
because I know it's not just him. There's definitely it's built.
No, and it's not the tone per se. It's like the grit of his rasp. And I do feel there is a tone to it. The rasp feels thin a little bit. And so it's like, it feels like a scratchy scream. It feels like a scratchy high scream. Even when it's low, like there's still like a scratch to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is that demon vibe that you're picking up, is the scratchiness
because even the
of
demon voice, it seems
even
like
low,
there's like 10 of them.
Yeah, well, because it's very stacked. It's super
it's
stacked.
Like you
so
said.
He's got 10 tracks where he screamed that into the mic in the booth 10 different times. They stacked the vocal so that it would sound super thick. But even so, because he has that high rasp, even when he's doing a low tone, because he's got that scratch to his voice, it kind of sounds like a little pukey and a little demony. And that's just what it is. And a lot of people like it. Lorna Shore is a very popular band. My band, it never got as popular as them, so who am I to talk, right? But
I was going to say that. I mean, again, I'm loving the song itself, the choir behind it's awesome. I just can't get beyond, like, because I can't understand him either, and I think that's where I'm like.
Now that I've heard him a little bit, I can understand what he's saying better. Like, now that I've kind of adjusted my ear
a little bit.
It's because I'm used to this music.
I'm even seeing the lyrics, and I was like, I can't see. Like,
it's because I've been listening to this type of music for like 20 years.
That's true.
So it's like, now that I've adjusted my ear to his tone, I can understand what he's saying, but still, it's not my favorite tone. We're going to take forever to get through this. Sorry. That he just did?
No. I mean, I wouldn't have recognized it if I did. So I'm sure I saw it. I'm really appreciating it and I'm liking it, but I couldn't tell you.
There's a technique called sweep picking where you do like one strum on the guitar and then you're moving your fingers on the fretboard. Oh. And so it's like, it's really hard to do. I was looking for it. Right there. Did you see it? Mm-hmm.
Okay. My favorite part, and I didn't even mind the vocals during this part, was that where they had all that negative, like they kept coming in and out. Mm-hmm. I loved that. I thought that was incredible. Mm-hmm. But I still cannot get beyond. He's got more than the two voices. However, the whole time, all I'm hearing is Gollum being dragged down to the pits of hell by his golemly overlords. And
that little bit in the end where he's
going
like
back and forth, and then
it's when he's at the lake arguing with himself about killing the hobbitses.
Yes, and then he's like when he goes like that super deep demon voice, that's like the overlord like dragging him down. He's like, but no,
yes,
and then he's screaming, being
Lorna
dragged
Shore
away.
Fans, assist us. Is this a part of a story arc? Is there? Because I'm reading the lyrics, and it sounds very, hardcore black metal. Ooh, I'm sorry.
Like swallowed by the womb of death. See, I think it goes along with my theory.
Well, Azrael's a fallen angel.
Mm-hmm, yes.
You know what I mean? Guiding me beyond the veil, habitual, free me from this mortal shell. It sounds to me like a very, for lack of a better term, stereotypical kind of dark, hardcore, black metal-esque.
Yeah.
We're singing a dark song about dark things because we're dark.
Yes.
And mysterious.
You know what? That falls right in line with our vocalist.
And so please enlighten me if I'm missing a part of a story arc or missing something like that. And there's a reason why he had this little mini possession at the end. Was he battling an inner demon? Was there more? Was it art that I'm missing? Great. Mm-hmm. The whole band, so talented, so good. The vocalist, not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate the commitment and the level of he had technique that is necessary to do what he did. You know what it sounded like? It almost sounded like he was screaming on an inhale.
You might have been. I mean,
which
here's
is
the deal.
weird.
I actually enjoyed this whole experience.
And for what reason, sister?
Because
for those of you who don't know, she has not really ever listened to a song like this ever in her life.
No.
So let's hear.
I loved the band. Like, I loved the whole song. Mm-hmm. The vocalist, I will say, did catch me off guard. However, I'm quite enjoying dissecting and trying to figure out what this tale is. Even though I could not understand a word of what he said, even with the lyrics in front of me, mm-hmm. the tones that he was using, I feel like I could understand well, at least that this is what I got out of it, that there were two distinct characters and that they were battling. Not battling, but like almost like there was some sort of like consequence or
were they two separate characters or were they two sides of him?
They could have been two sides of him, but two sides or two different people or but two different voices, I would say. And even though this is not what I would choose to listen to on a relaxing day, I enjoyed listening to it and actually trying to decide what on earth is happening. I actually quite enjoyed that.
Good for you, sister.
Yes. He does still sound like Gollum, but I still liked it.
Well, listen, I've been trying to get my sister into heavy music for a long time. Like, she would go and tolerate watching my band, like...
Because I am supportive.
Yes.
I am the best sister there ever was.
It's not like she came to every show. She came once or twice. She
I
would
also
tolerate
had infants, and she performed at like 1 a.m.
Because we were headlining.
Yes. And again...
And when we weren't headlining, we were opening for bands like this.
Infants. I had
by the way,
infants.
I will never say which bands I was in because I honestly hate listening to my old music and I will never reveal.
But either way, the fact that I was at some
good
shows,
for you. Anyway, this is going to go on forever.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Jake. I enjoyed figuring out what Lorna Shore was, by the way. All right, like and subscribe. Bye.